Welcome students, welcome to my next video. Topic liberty and rights. Topic number 2. When we listen to the word liberty, the first thing comes to our mind is freedom. The other word of liberty is freedom, and rights, as we all know, every citizen in a country, whether you belong to India, whether you belong to Pakistan, whether you belong to any country, you have got certain fundamental rights. So liberty and rights are given to its citizen by the government. And liberty is an essential feature in democracy. Now, my dear students, we will see liberty. We'll understand liberty. Liberty is also understood as freedom, as I've said before, or self-rule. Liberty means freedom, emancipation from slavery, freedom from autocratic rule, freedom from foreign rule is liberty. Liberty deals with personal, social, and national freedom. Social, economic, political rights, which are the individual needs of all-round development, is called liberty. Now, my dear students, I would like to give an example. Example is very simple. On 15th August 1947, we received freedom from the British yoke. From that very day, we got freedom. Now, I would like to tell you, freedom from foreign rule is national liberty. Freedom given to an individual for the development of one's own personality is personal liberty. This is the difference between national liberty and personal liberty. Now we will see there are few thinkers who have given certain thoughts of liberty, their views. According to Thomas Hobbes, liberty is a freedom that an individual act without restraint. Fear and necessity inspires an individual to achieve liberty. Therefore, according to him, absence of restraint is liberty. Very true. As we all know, when we move out of our house in the morning, we are sure that by evening we can come back to our residence. Nobody is going to harm us. So, as per the norms said by Thomas Hobbes, we have no restraint. So, absence of restraint is liberty. John Locke. Now his view is one should enjoy liberty without affecting the principles of equality. Liberty is an integral part of an individual. He has been given great importance to liberty. He maintains all human beings are rational. Therefore, liberty should be enjoyed rationally. He does not advocate unrestrained freedom. In short, Locke's concept of liberty focuses on the absence of restraint and the freedom of choice. According to John Locke, I would like to give an example. We know that we are proud of our own religion. No doubt. We should be proud. But rational thinking. We should also respect other religion. That is liberty. That is the very essence of liberty. Not to hurt others' freedom. Not to hurt others' sentiments. So, according to John Locke, one should maintain a rational thinking, and liberty should be enjoyed rationally. Now, Jean-Jacques Rousseau looked at the liberty from a collective perspective. According to him, individuals should keep personal interest aside for social interest. His concept of liberty frees the individual from class-based system and inequality. According to him, inequality is the obstacle in the attainment of liberty. He maintains liberty frees an individual from the hurdles created by the rise of civil and political society. He describes two hurdles on liberty. One prohibits an individual to think about public interest. Second, one which created due to inequality in society. Rousseau did not consider liberty as a natural right, as advocated by Hobbes and Locke. He believed that society comes together to protect the life and interests of an individual. Therefore, he gave more importance to emancipation for social inequality. He stressed on the freedom of choice and the availability of favorable conditions in the concept of liberty. Jeremy Bentham looked at the liberty from the perspective of attainment of happiness. He considered liberty as an happiness as an interconnected concept. To achieve liberty, one must gain happiness and eliminate sorrow. Now, my dear students, John Stuart Mill. According to John Stuart Mill, his idea was based on the concept of man as a full control over his body and mind. These ideas of Mill are relevant even today. His idea regarding liberty are found in his work on liberty. The two concepts of liberty. In the famous essay, Two Concepts of Liberty, first published in 1958 by Isaiah Berlin, has discussed about negative and positive liberty. Positive liberty emerged due to modern liberalism, whereas negative liberty emerged from the classical and neoclassical liberalism. Isaiah Berlin believed that liberty is unrestrained. Now, negative liberty. Now, what is negative liberty? The thoughts of J.S. Mill, Isaiah Berlin, Robert has explained negative liberty. Negative liberty explained. Negative liberty opposes all restraints on liberty. It believes that the state should not interfere in the life of an individual. No interference of the state in the social, economic life of an individual is a characteristic of negative liberty. Any restrictions on the freedom of an individual endangers liberty. Therefore, negative liberty opposes force, terror, and interference of the state. Freedom of thought. Now, my dear students, when I say freedom of thought, according to Jeremy Bentham, he argued that an individual knows how to protect his own interest. Therefore, the state should not bring any obstruction. In his book, Manual of Political Economy, he advocated free economy. Similarly, J.S. Mill spoke about negative liberty in his book On Liberty. He supported non-interference of social political system for the production of liberty. Mill also pointed out correlation between freedom of thought and freedom of action. He promoted freedom of thoughts for the development of an individual as negative liberty, but also calculated the impact of any action on society. He argued if any action qualitatively impact on the society rather than an individual, then in such situation, Mill rejects the idea of negative liberty. Therefore, Mill's concept of negative liberty is different from Isaiah Berlin. According to Isaiah Berlin, freedom of action in a negative liberty as per the principle of opportunity to act is important, while action itself is secondary. According to him, the impact of action is not considered important, hence it is not measured. Therefore, the principle does not give importance to quality. For the example, the concept does not make quality difference between choosing one's education, profession, or suffer deprivation. He would also rather give importance to give opportunity to do these actions and the outcome of these actions itself. Isaiah Berlin has mentioned following features of negative liberty. Individual should have complete freedom of choice. He should not have restraints on choice of alternative. Opposition to such restraint is a feature of negative liberty. Negative liberty is also based on neoliberalism. Now, my dear students, we will see what is the thought of Robert. Mr. Robert has said neoliberal thinker. He was a neoliberal thinker. He believed that whenever any restrictions are put on an individual without his consent, his liberty is at risk. He advised that the liberty should be protected from such restrictions. Hence, he suggested that individuals should be free from social, economic, and restriction and states restriction. Isaiah Berlin's statement on negative liberty, I am slave to no man. Isaiah Berlin's statement on positive liberty, I am my own master. Yes, my dear students, this is the end of my first part of my lesson or first part of my video, Liberty and Rights. Thank you for your patient hearing. Students, if you like the video, please do like it. If you have not subscribed it, please subscribe it. And the people they are not aware of this video, please do give this awareness. Thank you, and I wish you all the best for your exam.